No married person wants to be rejected by their spouse. And so oftentimes we sit back, we keep our mouth shut, and hope that maybe one day they will be open to what we suggest. One of the most common stories I hear at Marriage 365 is, I asked my spouse if we could go to couples counseling, and they said no. And so here we are, 5, 6 years later, and we haven't gone to counseling. And I never brought it back up. And we're still struggling. What I want you to know is that the way you bring up an issue or an idea to your spouse can either make or break the communication lines. And I know that this is a common struggle with spouses who have a desire to fix their marriage. They want to heal the hurt. They want to be on the same team in their relationship. And so they join Marriage 365, but they're not sure how to navigate the conversation with their spouse. And of course, they want their spouse to participate in all things Marriage 365, but their fear, their insecurities, or maybe even their failed attempts from the past keep them from speaking up. So if you're wanting your spouse to participate and do membership with you, but you're struggling with how to bring this up, I wanted to give you some word-for-word examples that you can use. The first thing to keep in mind is that you need to make Marriage 365 membership a positive thing. People are usually more interested in things that have optimistic results or that sound more like happy and hopeful. I also want you to remember that in my examples I'm going to give you, I made it more about me, not about my spouse. If you make it more about you and less about them, hopefully they will not get defensive. So it's not good for you to say, you need this, or you've got issues, you're the problem. It won't land well with your spouse. Trust me on that. So bringing up membership to your spouse for the first time could sound like this. Hey babe, I wanted you to know that I joined this membership called Marriage 365. I've realized I haven't been the best wife. I have so many areas that I need to work on, and I don't really know how to make the changes necessary. So I'm committing myself to this program, and I want to learn, I want to heal, I want to grow so I can be not only a healthy spouse, but also a healthy mom. And you see, with this approach, you're not even talking about your spouse, right? You're really making it all about our mantra at Marriage 365, that if you want to make a better marriage, it starts by making a better you. Another approach could sound like this. I know that we've been struggling in our marriage for some time, and I recognize that I have some areas that I need to work on in order to change things. I just signed up for the Marriage 365 membership and wanted you to know that with the membership, you also get access to everything. You can even make your own login and password, and then take out your phone and show them the app so that they can visually see and click on maybe a topic that they would be more interested in learning about. And so, hey, I invite you. I invited you, and so if this is something you're interested in, but honestly, babe, no pressure. And so this approach is definitely more casual, as you can tell. You made it more about you, right? And less about them. But if you say it with a kind tone, lots of confidence, lots of positivity, then hopefully this will spark some interest. Now let's say your spouse has said that they would go to counseling, but they haven't gone, or they've admitted that they have areas they need to work on, but they haven't done anything to make the changes. This approach may work. Now, I know we've had several discussions about getting help for our marriage, and since we haven't followed through with anything, I decided, finally, I need to work on myself. And so I joined Marriage 365's membership. I need this for me, and I feel very confident that we both can benefit from using this resource. So I invited you to join because we both get access, and I want you to know that I would like both of us to commit to watching videos and talk through their connecting questions and take their courses and really make an effort so we can heal our marriage and get back on the right track. I already have a video for us to watch together this Friday night once the kids go to bed, so let me know if you have any questions. Now, obviously with this approach, you're definitely taking more of the lead and you're pushing harder. There was a lot of conversations about us both needing this, but that's because you have to start somewhere, right? And it's you watching this video, and so you should be proud that it's you being the bigger and better person. I also want to give you one last approach if you're really, really hurting. Maybe you're separated, or you've talked about separating, or maybe things are just so bad where you're at that place you're just desperate to try anything at this point. Now, when you approach your spouse, you want to make sure you come with a lot of humility and that they can also see your confidence, but also that desperation to fix your marriage. So you could say, and again, show them with your nonverbal too, right? As you know, I've been really unhappy in our marriage for some time. And I know that both of us were hurting and we're frustrated with each other. And while it can feel like there just isn't a solve to this, I promised you on our wedding day that I would show up and that I would fight for this marriage in good times and in bad times. And this is bad times. And so I decided to become a Marriage 365 member. I'm going to invest in myself. I'm going to learn how to turn things around. And I strongly believe that we both need to commit to giving our all to this and doing as much as we can by using the resources in the membership. Now, I invited you to join, and you can even create your own profile, but we can do this together. We can do this separately. Maybe it's a little bit of both, but things cannot go on like this anymore. And it's time we learn how to become healthier spouses. I love you. I'm first doing this for myself because I need to get healthy, but I'm also doing this for you because you deserve to have a healthy spouse. And so just let me know if you have any questions. So use these examples, but also make them sound like you. I don't want you to sound like Megan Caston. You can literally copy and paste word for word, but I don't want it to sound fake or forced when you're approaching your spouse. And if you get nervous when you're talking about this, you can always write it down and read it out loud to your spouse. There is no shame in doing that. And remember, make it more about you. Make it sound like a positive thing, that this is a good thing for your marriage, and be confident when you approach them. And let me say that even if your spouse doesn't participate in membership, there is still so much that you can learn, that you can do, that you can change, that you can heal on your own. We know that it's pretty rare actually to find two willing spouses who are open-minded and even that are at the same place at the same time, like wanting to learn and grow together. It's rare, you guys, I promise this. Is that the ideal? Of course, yes, that both spouses are on board, but we created membership to be able to do with or without your spouse. And since that's such a big part of our own story, right? It started with me on my own, working on me for 13 months. I did not have a willing spouse. But I was determined to be healthy for me, no matter what was going to happen in my marriage. And I want that same thing for you. Now, if you're wanting to invite your spouse and you're thinking, how do I do this technology-wise? Here's a quick tutorial. Open your app and go to your profile in the upper right corner. Select Second User Profile, add your spouse's email address, and click Add User. Your spouse will then receive an email with a link that they will use to set up their own email and password. And of course, if you have any questions or need any help, you can always email our customer service at help@marriage365.com.